Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Celeste and this is my FlossTube channel, Celeste Creates. This is FlossTube number 38. We are inching closer to number 40, so that's quite amazing in my mind. It's been about 3 weeks since I filmed my last video and today is June 17th of 2022. If you are a new subscriber, a new viewer, I welcome you. I hope you find something today to inspire you, to get that needle moving and make all the beautiful things. If you're a returning viewer and subscriber, welcome back to chat with me again today about all things cross stitch. I have a lot to share and I've been busy in my 3 weeks of stitching and had a little bit of a start mania, I guess. I was just kind of, let's start all the things, and so I've been enjoying my stitching very much. It's very hot here, but it's not like that's surprising. So it's just normal, it's just hot. I think you enjoy the spring for a while and you think, oh, like I could do this permanently, and then all of a sudden it's June and it's 98 degrees. So it's felt a little hotter here than in past Junes, but you know, we have the blessing of air conditioning in our home and in our cars, and so I'm thankful for that. And so it's just what it is, right? My plants that are in the ground look good. My plants that are in pots look fried. My youngest said to me yesterday, he looked at a pot with what used to be a flower in it, and he said, you know, you really should have watered that one sooner. Yeah, so I'm not real good at plant care. I do better with things that go in the ground, and I can water with a sprinkler, and they're hardy, and they don't mind the heat, and the fact that I don't remember to water them. So, oh well. Let's see what else is going on. My son's in Topeka with his internship, going pretty well, I think. My daughter is working full-time for a doctor nearby, yes, his scribe. My others are finishing up some school that they still have in summer before we hit time for them to go to all the different Catholic camps and conferences that they've signed up for this summer, so we're looking forward to that. And then before you know it, it'll be time for college to start up, Nicole to go back, and Jacob to go back, although he's already kind of up there, and for us to start another new school year. I know it's gonna fly by, so but we are all well, we're happy, we're having fun, eating popsicles and ice cream, and it's all good. And I have 3 boys at home. They were really fine. That's just them roughhousing and being boys, and I'm used to it. I almost didn't hear it, but anyway, well, let's get on to what I've been working on, all the things. So first, I'm kind of gonna go chronologically, I guess. Sometimes I group it by like finishes and then what I've been working on, and I guess it all kind of works out that way anyway. So first thing I want to show you is something that I started right after my last FlossTube and stitched it, and it took me, maybe it took me 5 days to complete, you know, working on it off and on. Super fun stitch. I have created this year on my aqua cabinet that kind of sits between our eating area and our family room. I have a bee display this year, so I started working on that, and I decided to stitch this one. I can't find my chart. I think I filed it in my new filing system, which I'll show you later, and I don't quite know where I put it. So anyway, this is called A, the letter A, B, B-E-E, C, A, ABC, and it's by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And actually, even if I did have it, it would just be my black and white PDF, so it's not real impressive to look at anyway. But I got this on Etsy from her shop. It was a digital download. She has so many really cute bee charts, and I just loved this one so much. Let me pull it up a little bit closer. I just love the colors. I love that the bees, their wings are pale blue and not white. I just love that. Here's the colors that just the color choices. I really love them. So here, I'll show you real quick. These are all DMC, but look how fun that is. Really love the color choice. That there's no white in there. It's just these colors, and they're just so pretty. So I'm thinking I'm pretty sure those were all DMC. Yeah. And really fun stitch. I really enjoyed it, and went really quickly. And so then I added on, this is some Lori Holt fabric, a little bit of lace trim there, crochet lace trim, and I backed it with the same thing, and there's a piece of felt where I covered up my opening. I actually I'm a little more proud of my stuffing on this one. I don't know what I did to do it differently, but anyway, that's ABC from Primrose Cottage Stitches. So cute. So I would like to add some more bee, I don't know how long I'll keep it up, summer, unless I decide I want to put something else there, because in the past sometimes I've put patriotic on this cabinet. I guess I should show you a picture of the cabinet. Would you like to see that? In the past I had less patriotic stuff, and so I would put patriotic on this cabinet, but my patriotic has kind of expanded, and so it went on my hallway table. And so I was free to do something different, and I love bees and decided that that would be a great place for a bee display. Can you hear them laughing now? At least they're laughing and not crying. So that's a start. Okay, I'm back. And I'm still talking about this. I stitched this on 36 count Winter Moon by Zweigart and used the Call for DMC. And I love this color combination so much that I want to do a few more bee stitches. And the website Pinker and Punkin, I'll put it down here, and I'll put it down below, one or the other. She gives lots of freebies on her blog, and she has some really cute bumblebee charts. And I think what I want to do is use this same, I've left it on my ring, and I'm going to use this same color scheme to do her some of her charts, except instead of what she calls for, which is cute too. But I really love this. So anyway, that's fun, and I'm super happy to have that displayed. So that was a start, a finish, and an FFO since I last saw you. So I worked on the ABC for a little while, a couple days, and then it was time for my friend Chrissy and you can follow her at CMKeller5 on Instagram. She's a local stitching friend of mine, and we have a lot of fun getting into trouble with stitching and antiques. And it was time for us to start our next project together, and so we decided to stitch the chart from Sweetland of Liberty by Blackbird Designs. It's called American Eagle. So this was another start, finish, FFO since I last saw you. I love this. I had a little scrap of, I'm not sure who made it. It was just a scrap. I bought it up at Heart's Desire in Wichita when I was passing through one time, but it's called Limestone. If anybody knows who makes that, is it just a Zweigart? I'm not sure. Anyway, this fabric is called Limestone, 36 count. And it just really, I liked how it looked with just the colors. I really liked it. So again, this is called American Eagle, and it's out of that Blackbird book. And this one, Let me pause and get my book because I know I made some changes. Hold on. Okay, here's the book, Sweet Land of Liberty, and this is the one I'm talking about. I've stitched this one in the past. I think I would like to do everything in this book. There's 5 different charts in here and they're all really pretty. So let's see. This particular one, I played with the colors a bit, and it was amazing to look at Chrissy's colors and see how different they were from mine. I don't know that I changed anything. I think I stitched all the called for colors. Yeah, okay. So I think I'm thinking back to the Liberty House that she and I did together. So these are all the called for colors. So the only thing I did differently is that right here, you can kind of see it in the picture. These are the eagle's feet, I guess, and then he's got these needles hanging down with thread through them. And I started them and I really did not like how mine looked, and it was just not adding, in my mind, it wasn't adding as much to the design. And so I just decided to not stitch the feet, so I filled in his little breast there, and I added a couple of my own little feet. And then I just put another star or another little doodad here of my own to fill in that space. And I couldn't fit the whole year on, so I only put the 22 over here. And then of course I did my initial. My friend Chrissy, I think she may have left off something here or moved it and put her date here. Turned out really pretty. But gosh, I love it. It is so, so pretty. Really enjoyed that. And so I added this fabric to match. I was having a hard time pulling a red or a blue. Nothing really went, but this red that I had a little bit of matched the berries at the bottom, and then I pieced it, and I need something to cover up my seam here. But it's good for now because it's in a bucket and nobody looks at the back, right? So that is in my patriotic display, and I'm really loving it. So, like I said, that was limestone, and I did not change any of the colors on that. So I did those. I think I finished both of those before I started something else. Yeah. Then I decided to, I'd had a chart up here. Technically my upstairs chart is supposed to be Consider the Lilies. But I've actually not worked on that for a couple weeks now. I don't think I worked on it since I last saw you. But I had this particular piece. I'd moved it upstairs from downstairs so that I could work on it and kind of get it to a stopping point. So what I'm talking about, and I know I've shown you this the last couple times, it is sampler bouquet. I think I took the 3rd chart out. It's 3 charts. Here's 1 and 2. I finished the 3rd part. So the 3rd part, if you look at the whole thing, I'm stitching it all together like this with the called for DMC. I finished this portion right here. That's chart 3. I keep moving this way, but I put it away for a little while. But I wanted to show you the progress I made. That's Hardin Privé, sampler bouquet. And these are the called for DMC, which are really, really pretty. Aren't they lovely? Pinks and blues and greens. A very simple palette, but really, really just so pretty. So I love those. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Winter Moon by Zweigart, and it is still probably one of my favorite basic linens. Great one to have on hand. And so I was able to finish that part 3. Part 2 will kind of work its way in here, but that is the official. It was different if you stitched part 3 by itself, then you would have had more to fill in, but if you're connecting them all, then you need to there was like a dotted line that just showed you where to stitch to. So I love it. I love the alphabet. I love the Quaker type motifs. There's a little squirrel there, this beetle. Really, really pretty, and those colors are just so lovely. So I am super excited that I was able to get that, you know, worked on and finished up that part 3. This was one I think I told you last time that I had considered, you know, not stitching any more of. Did I really want to stitch it? Pulled it out, decided I loved it. And so I'm really, really glad that I got to, that I did decide to keep working on that one and got to a starting point. So the next part I will stitch is, let's see, yeah, is this one. This is the longer part. This is part 2, and I will work on that next. Love that. I love the different parts to it, and I love the house, the blue house. So anyway, I'm not sure when I'll pull that back out again. Might not be till next year. I don't know. We'll see. But I did get a good portion of that done, and so I'm really glad about that. Okay, next, so I worked on that. So I did ABC, did the American Eagle, worked on finishing that part of Sampler a Bouquet. Then I made a decision to abandon a project that I had started. I started that last year, but it was called Pink House Sampler by Plum Street, and I'd done some work on the house. It just never, ever called to me. I wasn't loving the house. I think I've discovered that I need to, most of the time, I have to be very choosy about whether or not I stitch a Plum Street sampler. I gotta really love the house, and I gotta really love all the solid stitching, and that's not always something I love, so I just kind of really got to pick and choose and not just stitch a big Plum Street because everybody's doing it, but make sure that I love it. And it's such a beautiful piece, but it just was not something I wanted to finish at all, so I kind of cut out the part because it was too much to rip, so I cut out the part that I didn't do, saved the rest of the linen, and then I actually got rid of several Plum Street samplers that I knew I wouldn't do, and was able to pass those on to somebody who would love to stitch them. So always happy to do that and share, because I have so much to share with others. So that took my whip count down. But then I started a few things. So next, after that, I've been really wanting to pick this up, and I finally grabbed it out of my bag and got busy on it. This is a wonderful sampler. I love it so much. This is, I believe Carol Saltbox Stitcher has finished hers recently. This is from Just Stitching Along, Miss Lucy Calcutt 1825. This is the bigger of the Miss Lucy Calcutts. I think the other one is 1826, and it's a little different and smaller. I am stitching this one, and I love it. I love the quirkiness of the colors and motifs. I mean, you can look and like, man, she put every color she could think of in some of these plants. Lucy left a big blank spot up here. Lucy, I don't think, finished filling in the swan. Not real sure what that is, but I do. I love it. The border is really pretty, and the colors are just to die for. So I worked on that for several days and do plan to come back to this one. It's really fun. Takes a bunch of DMC. A bunch. You may have called for a Veriswa, but I am doing the DMC. Hold on. Let me get my stuff arranged here. That, gosh, it's so much DMC, you can't even see it all at once. Look at all these colors. Aren't they pretty? They're really beautiful, these pinks and purples, and just what a combination. And I believe stitching this on, is it light mocha? Let me see if I can go back, and whichever it is, it's a really pretty really pretty color. Hold please. I feel like I need to fill in with some talking. I guess I could always cut this out. That's what you came here for, right? To watch me turn pages. Alright, you wouldn't know it because I finally decided to pause the video, but that took me forever to find when I started Miss Lucy Calcutt. I started her last June, so a year ago, almost exactly to the day. And yes, she is stitched on light mocha with the DMCs, and it's so pretty. She will be big by the time she's done. Look how pretty she is. So I have come across the top and starting to come down the right side with the borders. When I pulled it out, I think I only had like this done right here, all that. And so I added more border, and then I added, you can't see it very well, this right here. I did all that. I did the swan, that's done. And then when I left off, I was working on this plant right there with the flowers on it. Love the colors. They're just so pretty. Really pretty. So anyway, that is definitely one that I will be picking back up soon. I'm working on some more. I think I was like, what are my plans coming up? Well, I don't really have any specific plans. I just have lots of beautiful things and I want to work on them all. So we will see, you know, forgot to put my little, this is my color card. So sometimes in a particular sampler, depending on where the key is for the threads and the floss, I will make myself a little, I'll just make a copy. Sometimes it's black and white, but this one I did in color at my friend's house, and printed it off, and I covered it with packing tape so it's kind of like semi-laminated, and I can actually just attach that, you know, put it next to my chart so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. And especially with something like this that has more color changes, doing that's really helpful. So that just stays in my project bag, and it's easier for me than switching, you know, to the back of the book or wherever the key is to look at it, because sometimes it's not on every page. Let's see, so worked on that a good bit, and then I put that down and started 2 new samplers. So one of these I started because I wanted to, and another one I started with my friend Chrissy. So first I bought 2 charts from Sub Rosa, the PDF charts. You can find her on Etsy. Beautiful, beautiful charts. I love her chart. She has some beautiful samplers. She has beautiful smalls. It is Sub Rosa on Etsy. And there were 2 samplers that I had been eyeing, and one of them is Abigail Spencer, and then there was another one I bought. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll show it to you sometime. And I do not have a color picture of it, so I'll insert a picture here. So that is Abigail Spencer sampler, and it is really so pretty. So this particular sampler did not have a conversion of any kind. It called only for Swatage, Veriswa Swatage silk, and I'm just not a big silk lover. I'll never say never. I may be in the future. I don't enjoy it, and mostly I love over dyes. Those are my favorites. So I really had to figure out, I made my own conversion. So I sat down with the list, and it was really hard to find some of them, but I finally found one website that had really good pictures of the Veriswa, and I was able to, you know, just do screenshots on my phone and just really see a good color comparison. And then I sat there with my between that, and then there was a place that I found that had a few conversions to a DMC. I could find one place that had maybe half of them that gave a suggested DMC substitution. So between looking at that and looking at the picture of the silk that I found online that was really good, I think I still have that. If I do, I'll insert it right here. So then I sat down with all my overdyed floss rings and started to look at the picture of the sampler and the pictures of the silk and the recommended DMC for a few of them, and I came up with my own color conversion. So it is all overdyed, and I really am happy with the colors I came up with. If anybody is interested, you can email me and I can share that. It's my own conversion. I worked at it. And these are all overdyes. Really pretty. But I'm perfectly, if you're interested in stitching Abigail Spencer or have it in your list to stitch, I'm more than happy to share my conversion to overdyes. So those are the flosses that I chose, and then I think I only worked on this for a day, but I'll come back to it. I really will. Actually, the funny story was I started this like a week before. So I started this week, didn't I? Yeah, I started this on Tuesday the 14th. Well, last week, midweek, I really had intended to start it. I'd chosen all these colors. I'd chosen a really pretty 40 count linen, and I started it, and then I ripped out what I'd done because I just was having so much trouble with the linen. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna have to search around for another piece of linen. I'll just have to set it aside and I'll come back to it. So I kept thinking about it, but I really, really liked the color of the linen that I had chosen, the 40 count, and it was really gonna be a nice size, and the piece was perfect. And I kind of remembered I was kind of cranky that day. And so I kind of thought, I wonder if it was just because I was cranky that I was having trouble with it. So I thought, let's give it another try. So I pulled my colors back out. I pulled out the piece of linen that I decided wasn't gonna work and tried again, and I'm fine. So apparently don't start a smaller count than you use most of the time on a day when you're grumpy. So anyway, here it is. It's really, really pretty. It's 40 count oatmeal from Color and Cotton. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. I just love it. See why I had to go back and try again? So I think, let me look, is that all the way across? Can't remember if I went all the way across. Yes, that is. I'm pretty sure. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so that is all the way across. So that's where I'll turn and come back down like this side. But I just think it's so pretty. So I'm glad I gave it another try and pulled that back out because I'm really happy with how it looks now. And I'm using a piece of linen that I already had and didn't have to go and look for any more. So that is Abigail Spencer by Sub Rosa, and I just love it. Okay, another dog bark break. So then Wednesday this week, so just a couple days ago, I started another sampler with my friend Chrissy, CM Color 5 on Instagram. And I don't know, we've just been having a really good time picking out something and stitching it together. And so we just keep going. I texted her and I was like last week and like, well, what are we gonna stitch now? And she said, how about the Ann Peg sampler? And I said, all right, sounds good to me. So I had the chart and something, you know, she and I both been wanting to stitch. So here it is. It's from Scarlet House. This is Ann Peg, 1877. So pretty. So the hard part was we pulled the colors and then we gave each other a phone call and we spent some time on the phone together looking at colors, because once you pull the colors, you notice they don't look, let me take this out so you can see that. They don't look like that. They do, but they don't. So we worked and we worked and we looked at the picture, and it's a little hard to tell here, but we decided that the photograph itself has an overall blue hue to it. So we noticed it, like there's some little white flowers here on these plants. And if you look at the photo that she and I have that's on the cover, they are supposed to be roasted marshmallow, which is quite a yellowy cream, right? So these little white flowers and this are supposed to be roasted marshmallow, but on the picture they have a real, like a ice blue hint to them. So what we figured out is that the whole photo has a blue tint to it, which is making some of the colors look bluer than they actually are. So the problem was that this up here is supposed to be tin bucket, I think, as well as these little urns here, or baskets. It's supposed to be tin bucket. Well, even my older tin bucket is not that blue. So let me see, here is, right, here is, I'll try and hold it up. You know, here is tin bucket, and yeah, I mean, it's hard, but it has a gray tinge, I mean a bluish tinge to the gray, but it's not blue like that. But the problem is we really liked it. We really liked the blue. So we sat and we played and we played and we played with colors and looked at the different things and thought about, oh, but look at that, that's supposed to be stitched in Garden Gate, but it looks more like tin bucket. So it took us a good hour, but we kind of, you know, pawed through all our flosses and came up with something that we felt like would work. So neither of us are using tin bucket. There actually might be some places where Garden Gate is called for that I might use tin bucket instead to give it a little bluer hue. But I think, I don't remember which blue Chrissy chose for her main color here. But I'm actually doing mine with blue corn. So pretty. So I know we changed whatever tin bucket was supposed to be and may use tin bucket in a couple of other places instead of Garden Gate. It's Garden Gate. It has some, that's just really hard to see today with my lighting. It's got some blacky blue brown. Is that such a thing? A blacky blue brown. Anyway, we changed that. Then we changed our red. It was supposed to be country redwood. It just felt really orangey. And so I think we both ended up choosing Beaked Apple from Weeks. And then I did like the copper. Copper was called for in some of this. And I did like how the copper looked. Mine was really pretty, but I really liked the combination. It's toned down just a bit from the copper. And it's the Antique Rose by Gentle Arts that I used just in that American Eagle one I just finished. And so that's my combination there. And then I think everything else is what's called for and really, really pretty. So there's all my flosses kind of changed up a bit. We just really wanted that blue. I know it might be an error in the picture, just the way it turned out, you know, photographing is hard, but we really liked the blue letters. So we started. I am stitching mine and got a nice bit done. So that's the width of the sampler. And this beautiful linen is from one of my very, very favorite linen dyers out there. If you do not or have not bought any linen from her, Laura at Tropical Stitches, she has a website. She dyes beautiful, beautiful linen. I know I've mentioned her before, and it's actually my very favorite linen. It feels good. Her colors are beautiful. This particular one is called Angarella or Angarea, but Angarella is what it looks like. Modeling is so, so pretty. That. So if you have not bought anything from Tropical Stitches, go give her a visit and pick out something. I probably have, you know, 4 different colors. I've got one more on the way. So beautiful, beautiful linen. And then this is a beautiful sampler, and I cannot tell you how much I'm enjoying stitching. Can't wait to go stitch on that this afternoon after I finish doing all my video stuff. So again, that's Anpeg 1877. If you're interested in some of the color changes that I made, please let me know. Email me. My email is always below, or you can find me on Instagram and message me there. Either way, and I can let you know kind of what I chose. And you know, it might be you want to stitch it just the way it is, but sometimes you like what you see in the picture and you want it to have that feel. And as much as I love blue, I really was, when I saw that, I think that's probably something that drew me to it, was that beautiful was those blue letters. So anyway, then I kind of, amid those starts, I abandoned one more project, but it wasn't a complete abandon. So a good while ago, I had decided to do a kind of what do you call it, a mashup of a couple things from this Blackbird book. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? I can't read it. Yeah, by Blackbird. I think it was Kim that did a mashup and created a long one like this, but didn't do, anyway, what I was gonna do was hold on here. You're so pretty in here. So I was gonna stitch the house and take off Adam and Eve, because I'm not a big Adam and Eve lover, and figure out what of these things to include. So I was gonna stitch the house, and then on either side of the house, I was going to stitch this. And then I had done a mirror image on the computer, was gonna stitch the mirror image on the other side of the house. I never wanted to work on it. I don't know why. It just totally was something I didn't want to work. I found myself pulling colors from it more than I wanted to stitch it. So I decided that I would, I don't know, got a thread. This was how far I'd gotten. So I just decided I'm going to finish, you know, I'd done this and I'd made it kind of level. I'm gonna finish this flower pot and maybe put my initial on it and finish it up and be done. Make a little pillow or something pretty and be done with it. So not quite a complete abandon, but a sort of abandon. And I've changed some of the colors on this one as well. And so I'm just gonna finish stitching the pot with the pretty flowers in it and call it a day and make something pretty. This is on, I think, 37 count or 36 or whatever it comes. Russian Tea Cake by Legacy Linens. Really pretty color. It reminds me some of Winter Moon, and I like it a lot. It's very pretty. So there's my colors. They're very pretty. Here's that blue corn again. I think I substituted it for Freedom. That is pomegranate, one of my favorite reds. So really, really pretty. And I will finish that little bit, and then I'm gonna move on. So I think that's it. And I think I already talked about plans. I just want to keep working on all these things and stuff that I have downstairs in my my whip basket by my stitching chair. The only other plan that I know of, maybe I'll do another bee chart. I need a haircut. Is I'm going to be stitching from the Sewing Club book. My friends Merritt, the Sew Just Because Buzz, Kim Goldman, Kay Goldman, you know who I'm talking about, the Contented Stitcher, and then my friend April Heirlooms. So the four of us have been stitching projects together as well. And so we're going to choose our next Sewing Club one to stitch, and we decided on this one. This is called Hollyhocks Were Always There, and it's a housewife. And I just can't wait to stitch that. I think it's beautiful. So I think in July, beginning of July, we have our Zoom and we're gonna stitch that together. And I don't think this is all the colors, it's most of them. I think a couple others are in there, in some other projects. So that's the only real plans I know. Like I said, I might want to do another bee chart from the Pinker and Punkin, but mostly I want to work on these pretty samplers and the things that I have in my whip basket. So with that, I think what I want to show you next, I haven't bought a lot. I bought the Sub Rosa charts, and I bought some linen, and then I have done a little reorganizing. So I will show you that next. Okay, so up till now I've had a basket that I've put linen in, and they were each in a Ziploc bag that they kind of came in or whatever. And I had to shuffle through the basket to look for things, and it was getting slippery, slidey, and the basket was falling apart, and I just decided I needed a better way to store my linens. So I went, I got these at Walmart. So these are just that Sterilite brand from Walmart, and I bought 3. So I have these cabinets behind me right here. These were a few kitchen cabinets from my sister's house when they redid their kitchen. I've had these for years. When we moved into this house, my husband put the piece of countertop on it, and that's my cutting table. So over here, there's one more door, and that's where I have my linen. But I bought 3 containers. So these are Sterilite containers. I bought this deeper one for my 36 count because that's my go-to. That's what I stitch on most of the time. I bought one of these for my 40. And then this one has 32 and other. So might be some 28 in there, or some colors, or a little bit of even weave. I don't keep much other linen, but I have a little bit. And so mostly I have 36, as you can see. And then this is for my 40s. And I just labeled them on top, so I could see it when I open the little door, and on the ends they have little, you know, they just kind of pop off. And then there's all my linens, and I have them, you know, just nicely folded in here, and they're all labeled. And I'm super happy. This is so much easier, much easier for me to look through. So that's my new linen storage. And then I just have a Ziploc bag of scraps that sits to the side that are small bits of unidentified scraps that I can do little things on, because you can't get rid of those. Okay, so let me show you a couple things I got. I have one more piece of linen that is coming from Tropical Stitches. My friend Chrissy placed the order, and pay her and ship it together. But I ordered a new piece. Let me see. Okay. Oh, so much fun. Alright. So, oh no, I need to pull that out too. One thing I got was just a new piece of a fat half. A vintage country mocha 36 count. I had used up all my last little scraps for my keeper of the pins pin cushions, and I just needed some more, so I ordered that. Nice big piece, because it's such a good go-to. It's kind of one of those ones I always want to have on hand. That and probably Winter Moon. Then I think that came from Kingsland. Here it is on Etsy. Kingsland Needle Art. And bought that 36 count vintage country mocha from that shop on Etsy. Then I placed an order on 123 Stitch for a few pieces. One, I have 40 count straw, but I wanted a little bit of 36 count straw because I do love straw. It's one of my favorites. And then I also got, sometimes I'll order a small piece of linen on 123 Stitch, one of the 8x12 cuts, so I can see what the color looks like. And I really wasn't sure what this was going to look, but this is Weeks Chestnut, and that is pretty dark. So it's a small little piece. Use it for some smalls, and that's a good color representation. So probably darker than I would have thought, but I think it's beautiful. And if anybody has any suggestions for something fall, maybe something I could stitch in a cream color, or oh, give me your suggestions below. What could I stitch on this beautiful linen? I think a fall monochromatic would be pretty, or I don't know. Give me your ideas. Tell me what I should stitch on that. And then, oh, this is really pretty. This is another, it's a little piece, again, a small one. But I wanted to see the color. This is Color and Cotton 36 count Harvest Moon. Ooh, let me see if I can get that. It's pretty yellow, is it? Put it up against this. Yeah, that's maybe better. It's a real, it's a Harvest Moon color, and it's really, really, really pretty. So almost, that is almost not showing up as dark as it really is. That looks better. Super pretty. So that's another Color and Cotton. I really like that. Don't need to show you that one, but it's really pretty. And then my friend April had gone to Tinsmith's Wife several weeks ago, and I paid her to get me a little bit of linen while she was there. So she got me a couple fat 8 and a fat quarter. This is so pretty. This is a fat quarter of Thornfield from Needle and Flax. Isn't that lovely? 36 count Thornfield from Needle and Flax. Really pretty. Love it. Love, love, love it. And then, because I had never owned a piece of Lakeside, I know, crazy, but by the time I got back into stitching, Lakeside was kind of hard to get. So I said, if they have any Lakeside, pick one out for me. And she was kind of giving me, oh, what about this one? What about this one? And finally I said, you know, April, you know what kind of linen I like, what I tend toward. She really does. And so she picked out for me, she says, I think you'll like this one best. This is 36 count vintage straw flower. Really pretty. Oh, my lighting is bad today. I'm really sorry. I like to do them in the morning. I think my lighting is truer, but it's very pretty. That's what I have today. So lovely. And you know, as I am petting my piece of, I'm petting my piece of, this is Lakeside. This is Tropical Stitches. Man, I mean, it is so beautiful. So if you are looking for a lovely linen, again, she's not paying me to say this, I just really love her linen. So that's my new linen and my new linen storage, and so that goes back in my cabinets. So then the other thing I wanted to show you is I was outgrowing my pattern storage as well. So let me pull that. Okay, I kind of moved a couple things off this little cart here that I have. This is my upstairs stitching chair, and you can see back here I got them on Amazon, and there were either 4 of them or 5 of them in the package, maybe 6, I can't remember. Pretty inexpensive. I have a couple left that are just in my closet. I'll put a link to them below, but they are heavy cardboard magazine holders. So I had just outgrown what I had, and so I got these. They're kind of a shiny cardboard, very sturdy. These are all of my Blackbird books and charts that I have. So I have one that's all Blackbird. I guess they've got a little hole that you can pull it off the shelf. But very nice. Very pleased with how those are. So that's all my Blackbirds. Then that one right here, that is Plum Street and With Thy Needle and Thread. And then these 2 here are just everything else in alphabetical order. So that's my current, my new and current pattern storage, and hopefully that should hold me for a little while, especially since I've got 1 or 2 more of these magazine holders in the closet. So they come in a package flat from Amazon, and then you just kind of fold them together. Super nice, super easy, super sturdy. I'm really happy with them. So sometimes over time the plastic ones break anyway. You know, I've used them for years with homeschooling and stuff, and for the price, I was looking at Walmart or some of the other places for the plastic magazine holders, and they're expensive. So for the, this may have been $13, $14, something like that for 5 of them. So I'm pretty pleased with them. Very sturdy. So that is my new, it's my new pattern storage. So trying to think if there's anything else I need to show you. I'm gonna do the giveaway, and then I have another giveaway for this time, and I'm really excited because we are getting closer to 7,000 subscribers. I think I'm 6,700 something. So if you can, if you want to, if you are able and you want to subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that like button and hit the little subscribe-y button and bell if you want to know when I've come back to haunt you. So just a minute. Okay. Last thing I have to do is announce the winner of the giveaway from my last FlossTube. Last FlossTube, I showed you my finish of this chart. I stitched AH to EE by Kathy Barrick. This was a Market 2020 release, and I stitched it in Wavy Navy. Thank you for all your kind words and compliments on that, and a lot of you liked that blue Wavy Navy as well. I know my friend Annie, the Proper Stitcher, she recently started this and she decided to go with that Wavy Navy, and she was raving about how much she just loved that color. So sometimes, you know, you use a color that you haven't used before and it's like, oh, I found a new one that I really love. So anyway, the winner of this chart is So I will comment on your comment, and you can email me and send me your address, and I will get that in the mail to you. And then I have another giveaway for this week, and hopefully by the time I get to 7,000 I can do a really good giveaway for you for 7,000 subscribers, which should be coming up soon enough. But today I have 2 sets of charts, and again, if you would like to be entered to win these, gotta be over 18, don't say giveaway, all that. And of course, I would greatly appreciate it if you like and subscribe. And then we will have a word to use, and I will give away 2 things, 2 sets here. So crazy. Okay, so I have 4 charts here, and I'm going to do 2 different giveaways. Let me see how I want to do that. Okay, so the first set, they're all Little House Needleworks charts. The first set is these 2 charts together, so somebody will win both of these. This one is really sweet. It has a blue house, and it says Home of a Needleworker, and I really like that one. So this was done back in 2008. And then the second of the 2 charts that you will win is called Giving Thanks, and it says, I'm thankful for my daily bread and also for my cross stitch thread. I love it. 2015. So cute. So I can tell I got a stitching related theme here. And then the other 2 charts that one person will win. First one is, another Home of a Needleworker style chart. This one looks a little more samplery, I guess. Home of a Needleworker Squared. This was 2019 release, so that's one of them. And then the second one is this one. This is adorable. It's called the Traveling Stitcher. Okay, and this was 2009, and so the patterns for like the little, this here as well as that, those are both in there. And so yeah, you can have both of those. So I want you to use the word needleworker, and I want you to tell me, I am a needleworker because. So does that make sense? Kind of like a fill in the blank. Tell me a little bit about yourself. So we have these two charts and these two charts. And your word is needle worker, all one word, needle worker, compound word. And that I want you to kind of fill in the blank. I'm a needle worker because I am a needle worker because I grew up in a home where my mom was a needle worker. My mom was a creator, a maker, we may call it today. But she was always making and creating beautiful things, and most of them had to do with the needle. She didn't do a ton of cross stitch, but she sewed clothes. She made beautiful, beautiful clothes for all of us. She knew how to crochet. She knew how to knit. She did beautiful needlepoint, and she did do some cross stitch. There's a few that I can picture. She made yo-yos. I have a whole basket full of her yo-yos. She did a few quilting projects. So my mom was a great influence on me. She was a needle worker, so I am a needle worker because of my mom. I would also say I am a needle worker because I like to reflect God. God is the creator, and I believe we've all been given the by God that ability, maybe even that desire to create, maybe some of us more than others, but I want to reflect his goodness and his creation, and so I have a desire, I have a gift, and I like to use that, and I do it because it brings peace to my mind, to my heart. It's often very quiet for me and prayerful, even if the world is going crazy around me or the kids are playing and yelling as we heard earlier. There's still something about being in the middle of all that, crazy going on, and it's still the stitching is a very peaceful thing, and so it's very calming. So that is why I am a needle worker. I am a needle worker because of all those things, and probably more. And so yeah, share that with me and be entered to win that drawing. So I don't really have a particular scripture to leave you with today, or prayer or anything like that, but I have been thinking this week, I have a Ford Expedition, and it's got whatever Ford's system is called, it's like sync, and so I can listen to my music in the car. It's kind of built in. I know in our old Suburban I had like this little Bluetooth doodad that we had to buy. Anyway, so the sync system in my Ford has always worked with my Bluetooth on my phone, and I listen to my music, and now some reason the Bluetooth won't hook up. So I feel like I just haven't been able to get in there and solve it. And so I've had weeks in my car without my music, and I really love my praise and worship music. Most of the time, that's what I want to listen to. Sometimes I'll listen to a good Catholic or Christian podcast, but most of the time, I like my music. So it's been quiet, and I like quiet in the car too. But I have been really missing my music. Praise and worship music is a big deal to me, period. I'm a music lover. I'm not a TV watcher. I love music. My whole family loves music. And so actually praise and worship type music is a big deal to me, and is actually, I think, part of how I talk to God. And so yes, I spend time in the Bible and scripture reading and prayer, obviously, but prayer is also, for me, is that music. So a good bit of my listening to that kind of music is just a way that it just really brings me throughout my day. It puts me back in touch with God, and it's that conversation, right? What was the old saying? He who sings praise twice, right? It's just that it brings my mind back to God, brings my thoughts in line with truth and goodness and beauty, and gives me an opportunity to worship while I'm, cleaning the bathrooms or doing needlework or driving or any of those kind of things. And so I was really missing my music in the car, and I sort of got it fixed. But the other day, the first song that came up, when I kind of was able to play it in the car again, I've just been having on repeat because it's really been the song that I needed right now. So that's what, long story to get to the point that I want to share this song with you. I will put a link. I think I can find a YouTube version of it and put a link below, but I will not sing it for you. Come stop by the house later and stand outside the windows, and you might hear me singing, but I'm not going to sing it for you on camera. It is called Goodness of God, and it's by Bethel Music and Jen Johnson. So it's from one of their albums that came out not too long ago, and it is called Goodness of God. And I think I just really keep listening to it because I have to keep repeating it. I have to keep repeating these truths, right? No matter what's going on around me, in the world, in my life, I have to focus on the truth of this song, right? And so let me just share a little bit of that with you, if I can. Again, it's called Goodness of God. It says, I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. And the refrain says, and all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. And again, the second verse I love your voice. You have led me through the fire. In the darkest night, you are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. And then they go through the refrain. And then there's a kind of a, what do you call it, a bridge. Because your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything because your goodness is running after me. His goodness is running after us, and he is good all the time. He is faithful. And I will sing of the goodness of God always. So I leave you with that. I hope the video link works, and I hope that you enjoy putting that on repeat. And I just thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you in a couple of weeks, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and stay cool and enjoy all the stitching and making memories with family and whatever you're doing this summer. But again, thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.